This is the Peace Dealer, and welcome back to a series that we did heavily in 2019, and we are now back. I'm just gonna be honest. The goddess Ari has decided that we should reunite and do this video. So we didn't even ask no questions. We scheduled this and we back to show some love. I'm actually just even very amazed because it's been a while since we've done this. And yeah, shout out to all of y'all in the live chat. I just lit some sage. Shout out to Moni. I'm so happy we doing these again. So it looks like y'all excited. I hope y'all can hear me well. And Ari, what's poppin'? How you doing?
Oh shit. Nice. I'm like reading the comments and now suddenly, I'm on the screen.
Yep. So,
hi guys.
The Divine Triune. The Divine Triune Weekly Horoscopes. We back this week. Oh yeah. Shout out to Tara. Shout out to Heather. Shout out to Nasiha. Shout out to J-Lo. Shout out to everybody. Ari, how are you feeling? Ari pulled a card for today that already came like super accurate for me. I'll just say that.
Oh my god, yeah.
Mercury retrograde is not a joke.
Oh my god, yeah. So if you guys haven't watched the start or the Galactic messages on Mystical Illuminations channel, the first card is applicable to the situation that happened to Michael earlier today. So I was just like, oh shit.
You know those people who are like, my guide said that you have 5 dogs and they need to do this, this, and that, or my guide said this, or my guide said that, and the shit that they're saying is like, did your guide say that, or are you making this shit completely up? Yeah.
I think it's very important for us to be discerning, and particularly with these situations that we might be confronted with. There are a lot of people who are truly gifted, spiritually speaking, but there are a lot of us who are not us, but because I'm not. I am gifted.
They are not one of us, sorry. Those people are not us.
Who are not us.
A different cast of people.
A different, there are people, unfortunately, that straddle that line between sanity and insanity. And sometimes, depending on what they're doing or depending on what's going on in their life, they might be projecting some of that to other people by stating these comments such as, my guide said that you did this to me, da 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 da. When you as a sovereign soul would never violate their free will, right? And that's what we are being faced with, these types of projections. It's the hall of mirror effect here, okay? So just be mindful, you guys. It's a big hall of mirror going on, this big effect going on where people who might feel a certain way about you might be projecting their own woundings, mental health speaking as well, towards you in particular, because you don't have those problems, but you're someone who is here to heal those problems. And so they might be like seeing you as someone that is in some way, like they might distort your energy because they might be doing that shit to you. You know what I mean? Like they might be throwing that energy to you to try to hurt you.
Absolutely.
Like, like I told Mike, it's like people that go out hexing people, right? Like that shit's coming back to you. It's a hall of mirrors. You're only hexing yourself when you do that to people, right? It comes back to you.
I noticed it's very much a projection. To answer the
Yeah.
question, Ari is a Virgo rising and Pisces moon and Sag sun for those who want to know the big three. But once again, like I got called a fake psychic, and it's like this is a pure projection because there's having psychic ability, and then there's having integrity with psychic ability. Because one thing that's huge, she's not the only one who does this. Throughout the years that we've done this, I've noticed a lot of people do this in that a huge important part of this spiritual path is putting your trust in extra dimensional guides. I used to be so skeptical about people who call on angels, guides. Like I never used to believe guides are real. Guides are real. Then there's the other side of it where you blame guides for everything. That's not responsibility in using your gifts. And there's a certain pathology to it. I mean, this is the same person that said, my guide said that my twin flame is a famous Hollywood actor and I'm meant to be in cat. So it's like you can tell that this is just somebody making shit up based on what they want. And that's just a part of the path to be able to discern what is your own delusion and illusion and what actually is your psychic ability. And there's a really easy way to find out. Anybody who's telling you your guide said this, your guide said, whenever my guide, I don't even like to say guides, but whenever my guides tell me something, I get a synchronicity. I get a sign. Like there is an objective third party who confirms it. So it's not just in my head. Okay. Yeah. So, this is just making sure we're clear.
And remember when you think about the oneness of creation, meaning your guides are you and you are your guides. Okay. That's what it is. You're creator as well as creator is you. So when you get information that is outside of you, that's how you can tell. It's like if it's really outside, like you really see what the hell, or you sense a shift or whatever. That's how you can tell that they're guides, right? It's not just in your head, right? But when you start to speak on things such as matters of shadow work or things like that that are being projected, that you're projecting onto other people, pretending that they're the ones projecting that to you. Again, it's all in your head. It's the hall of mirror effect. That's what it is. It's like, obviously, you have to do some work here. Like, why do you feel someone is trying to harm you? Why do you feel someone's projecting energy or a hex towards you or things like that? And then you confirm this by saying, my guide said that you were doing this to me, instead of actually talking to the person and being like, hey, I have beef with you, like straight up. I don't fucking like you. And I know that you don't fucking like me because I sense it. Instead of being like, my guide said that you're hexing me.
And that was the major decider. I gave this person a call. They didn't want to pick up. They have no integrity. Like you have the courage to say all this, but you don't want to actually talk.
Yeah.
So that lets me know. That's why I even put that out there. Like, pray for this person because this person is going through a Saturn return. This is a mental illness. Like, I wasn't saying this to make fun of this person. This person needs support because this is following a long string of actions that have been really weird. So I mean, it is what it is. The reason why I'm mentioning this though is that she's not the only one who exhibits behavior like this. This is why the spiritual community gets such a bad rap, because for lawyers, you need accreditation. For doctors, you can't just teach medicine without getting accredited, without getting certified by a board. Anybody can create a YouTube channel, decide that they're the goddess Isis, and read fucking oracle cards and astrology. And it's like you have to be able to discern who's who, and
fucking Hercules, okay? And Hera, and Zeus, and every god in the pantheon.
I'm whatever god I feel like being this week. My guides told me that.
Hell yeah!
Actually, oh my god, that's wild.
But it's the truth. Is about understanding there are some people who straddle that line of mental health issues, and make things matters worse with their own projections. And that's where mental health can be cured. Like, honestly, it can, but it takes time, it takes effort, it takes a good hard look at yourself and what the fuck's going on around you, like the people who probably are aggravating your mental health, the diet that you're ingesting things that might be aggravating it. You're doing God knows what, and without, actually, I would say, without loving your body, because the mental body is a part of your physical body, is part of your spirit body. So if there's something out of whack here, then it all needs to be healed. It all needs to be reintegrated and understood, that where is this coming from? Like, I'm projecting, like, if I had beef with Mike, I would tell him straight out. I had beef with him.
Yeah. And I mean,
I'm
you
like, we
never
need
had
to
this issue letting me know too that stuff that you didn't agree with or stuff that you felt like I needed to do, which I'm very grateful for. My most transparent relationships with people, even I was talking to someone who actually legitimately might have beef with me, and we were able to just talk casually. Like we don't really have beef. We have differences. We have certain things we don't agree on, but like we're still able to connect like adults. So I just love that this is happening on the first day of Mercury retrograde, because it just lets me know like this is about to be a crazy Mercury retrograde. Like this already started off crazy. So I love it.
Yeah, and that's the same thing is, unfortunately, like, there are some people who are having a really hard time, and it's kind of like, in so many respects, this whole situation could be an eye opener as to, maybe the person who was doing the attacking, should take a little bit of a step back and a breather, and reintegrate what's going on. Like, if they're having a situation with someone, maybe this is the first person that they had the same situation with. Maybe they've had the similar projection, similar, confrontation with someone else, and now it's time for reevaluation of that. So,
True that.
yeah.
So it is what it is. I know the in their case that person only expressed that to me because they genuinely feel hurt. They feel like I really did do some shady stuff and betray. There's just their ability to process that rationally in ways that are not fucking crazy. It's unfortunate due to the patterns that have whatever. So it is what it is. I'm sharing this because if I'm going through this, be mindful of how you mirror this too. I'm really just an incredibly true mirror. So other than that, I'm very excited about this week because so much is shifting, getting ready for the new moon. We're in Jax's season. Jax is fashionably late AF. I hope he shows up. I'm wondering maybe
call him.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean,
You probably took a nappy.
right? The Mercury square Pluto already is just like face off with the ex-husband before noon. Like this is bringing to the forefront these elements of use discernment before that you're a deity, right? I love it. These elements of like extreme conversation points and being ready to take controversial concepts and to bridge them in relationships that you might have been worried about expressing for a while. Like telling your family or telling your boss that you're not going to get a certain, I'm not going to say the word, or, telling your partner that you don't want to move forward with them in a relationship or you want to change the way you do it. It doesn't even have to be bad. It's not bad or good. It's just the extremity of how you're going to be clashing with another's character. And I'm a part of #petty gang. So I'm here for the drama. Like I'm legitimately here for it. But still, Ari, I love how you're able to see like the beyond and abstract version of this too. Like you can bring the gods into it. So
and when I know someone asked, like, how do we know the difference, right? How do we know the difference of legitimate people who actually are psychic and those who are straddling that line?
Right.
They're psychic, of course, but there's other stuff going on there. Well, I would say, honestly, it takes a long time to even be able to tell the difference. I know it took me listening to my own intuition about it because I was just like, no way, no way. Like I would get pings. So I get physical symptoms, you guys, like because I'm a medical intuitive. So I get physical stuff going on right here in my head, like ping. I call them pings, like like stuff right here in like the brain area, or even in the frontal lobe in the back, and things like that. And it is, so those are indicators of mental health for me, and I had to learn this along the way. And I learned this even more with doing energy work, as well as helping clients who had depression issues, anxiety issues, schizophrenia, things like that. Working at a retirement home with schizophrenics and people with dementia and people with Alzheimer's helped as well, like being engulfed in that and being able to decipher where in the brain is this active, and actually what is the cause of it and stuff like that. And so that took years. And, it might be that you just have to figure it out yourself, unfortunately, but you can always ask, you know, ask creator for some assistance, some discernment, some use of it. If you intuitively feel there's something off with someone, but you just don't know what it is.
Most of the time,
Listen.
most of the time you get it right the first time.
Mhm.
Like, no, I'm just in my head. No, I'm being mean. I
Yeah.
don't want to judge that person. When that's your intuition saying, hey, because there's also fear. You want to make sure you're not mistaking fear of someone versus an intuition for someone. So I love that you brought this up, Ari, because what I realized, and I'm going to make a special video about this, but what a lot of people do, there's a difference between watching a reader or watching someone use psychability and divining them, because a lot of you don't know that you divine people when they do divination, when they watch, versus actually seeing their skill. So there's a medical professional or a doctor, and then there's a professional doctor.
Mhm.
A professional doctor is going to do their job professionally. You have a psychic or an astrologer, and then you have a professional psychic and astrologer. Psychics still have psychic ability. Astrologers can read your chart, but they're not professional. They're not going to balance and integrate their shadow side. They're going to let negative aspects of their ability and their day get in there. Professional is going to clear their energy before they do the work. They're going to have good hygiene. They're not going to let that extra shit get into a session that needs to be worked. So a lot of y'all divine. I can pull a tarot card reading right now, jam-packed with nothing but Barnum statements, and make shit up. And it's going to be accurate to some of you, not because of what I said. And this is why scientists can debunk a lot of this, but what they don't understand is there's a different way that humans and we perceive with relation of spirit, where spirit can use a fake psychic reading. Like someone can be on TikTok doing a whole troll reading. The intent is not to be giving you advice, and you can gain genuinely real advice from it because you are at the right place at the right time and you heard just what you needed to hear to speak to you. There's that, and then there's also being able to see who's skilled. So some of y'all can divine information from someone, and now you think, oh my gosh, they're psychic. And that has nothing to do with them. It has everything to do with how you perceive the situation. Then in the terms of actual like skills and psychics and whether they're real or not, it's as simple as this. If someone is a psychic, if someone is legitimately says they're legit and guarantees you, especially with mediumship, especially with, intuition, then within seconds, like within moments, you have clarification, confirmation. If at any point it's left up in the air, if anyone's kind of giving you this guesswork, they're leaving you in a vague sensation, they're not legit. From experience and from people who are really legit, I mean, Ari is who really helped me accept that guides exist, because she would be saying, oh, my guide said this, and I see this vision, and the inner critic in me would want to be like, no, that's bullshit.
You're wrong.
But as she's saying that my guide said this, I'm like, oh wait, I didn't tell her about that. How did she know about that? Wait, this exactly applies to this. And I don't have to wait 2 years later or 2 months. Like, in the moment. That's how I know she's legit. Versus other people who are just like, oh yeah, well, maybe this might happen and that might happen, and they leave you up in the air guessing. That's not a psychic, that's a fraud. So
That's Miss Cleo right there.
thank you. And it's super easy. I can
meet someone.
I can do cold reading right now and it'll resonate with you, but I'm bullshitting you the whole time. Versus
Right?
actual psychic reading that details what you're going through, and it's not purely vague. There is a difference. There is a difference.
Yeah, and for everyone who's commenting about feeling the physical like the pings, that's what I call them, the pings. You guys have medical intuition. Like, let's stop denying it. Let's just start looking more into what explaining what parts of the body has to do with the energy that you're picking up, right? So like I said, to me, anything in the brain has to do with any type of mental health issue, right? And then the physical body, you'll get physical pain in the arms, in the shoulders. You'll also get like the rumblies, like I call them the rumblies, because I get like people who have like gastrointestinal issues. I get that right there. I also get the acid reflux and things like that. People with sexual trauma, I feel that too, and I'm sure all of you guys who are feeling physical stuff, you're feeling that too. So it's really important for us to do this. When you guys are feeling that, make sure that you disconnect and make sure you cleanse yourself and clear your energy, because as a healer, you're bringing it in, and you don't want to bring it, in completely without permission and things like that. So it's important for you to make sure you purify your vessel once you have these interactions with people, not knowing, and things like that. It's very important, because then you bring on the energy and then you have to transmute it. Okay. It doesn't mean it's going to be a physical thing. It's more of the energy itself. Okay. So you guys are definitely in tune. And so I would research anatomy. I would also research how the meridians, the vortices, which is the chakra system, how that correlates with the actual physical body, because there are always a vortices that is connected to an actual organ. Okay, I would do that. Okay, and then look at human anatomy. I was always fascinating with human anatomy, especially the brain. And so looking at that, looking at the centers of the brain and seeing where could this, guide you towards giving the person an answer or something, especially if you're working as a healer, to assist them, with their problems and things like that. Remember, assistance is not that you're gonna take it on. Okay, make sure you're always cleaning your energy after.
And to answer your question, if you look at the description box below, I have the links to Jax and Ari. Ari definitely does have a YouTube. And yes, you need to subscribe right now. I'm holding you up at gunpoint. You're going to click on that link and you're going to subscribe right now. But other than that, once again, just to extend on what you said, which is so very important, because the most important thing about perception is that the biggest bias we have to face is our own bias. And sometimes we can deceive ourselves. So feeling reception to an intuitive message is one thing that's very important. But we have to also remember the number one rule and guideline for anyone who says they're psychic, or for anyone who you want to know is psychic or not. Because the other end of this is someone being psychic doesn't mean they're trustworthy. There's so many people on YouTube who are psychic, but they have no integrity. They scam people. They don't really do readings. They're psychic though. They have the gifts. You watch a reading right now, they will drag you to filth. They will give you a reading, but they're not professionals. And so you got to discern, like, just because someone's on point doesn't mean that their soul or spirit is pure. And I can name a lot of people like that, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do the drama. So here's the sacred axiom: as above, so below. No matter how on point you think a reader's reading is, as above is the psychic insight they're giving you, that they're channeling from above. It's your intuition that you feel is right. It has to match so below. You have to see a real life counterpart. It can't just exist in your head. That person who you swear is your soulmate, that you've seen so many signs and synchronicities about, but it's not playing out so below. That other person cannot also consciously admit that they have that. That's not your soulmate, boo-boo. You have a soul connection to them. That's not your soulmate, boo-boo. Don't worry, I was there. I was there too. I had my fantasizations and my projections, but as above, so below, as within, so without. And and like I've had certain people who say, "Oh yeah, I have a connection with you," and one of them is in the chat right now. Like she's very annoying to me, but we soulmates. She's outright told me like, "Yeah, we have a soulmate connection. We soulmates," and like, you know, I didn't want to believe it. It is what it is. But like, there's been real life instances that has proven we do have a soulmate connection. And you know what I'm saying? Are we getting married yesterday? But like, you know, there's some people who are full of shit, and there's some people who it checks out with. So as above, so below. I say she's annoying to me, but she cool. She cool. You know who you are. You know, I got love for you. But like, thank you. Like, I'm just saying, like, even my own opinions will get in the way, but I had to acknowledge she's not lying. She's actually telling the truth. And I can respect her because even though there's a certain, you know, way she says it that I'll still look at her like this chick is delusional. She's still not I still have to admit, nah, she still got that wisdom. She still knows what she's talking about. And that's just a connection. So it is what it is. And it's not just one person, right? Like it's several people who you share this connection with. But yeah, it is what it is.
Tolerate.
Oh,
you know, it's funny.
Yeah.
That you get everyone telling you these things, right? Like, oh, you're my soulmate and things like that. And it's so funny because you're so like, and I told you this before, you're so open. Like your energy is very wide open. And so people are just like, I'm gonna go talk to them to Mike and say whatever I need to say because I receive it. Look at me funny, but still, you know. And like, and it's funny because you even told me when you met me first, you thought I was an Aries, and like I was just like,
right, yo, that's crazy. It's true.
Like, get out of my way, you know. You're trying to touch me, you're gonna get burned, right? Like you're like, oh, you're an Aries. I'm like, I'm not an Aries.
Oh
it's funny that you're just like, and I looked at you and I was like, this guy is an air sign. He's wide open, like wide open energetically. And so that's why people feel comfortable, you know, with you telling you, expressing their emotions and things like that. So,
and then the Cap Moon is like to my Gemini, why are you being so fucking open? And now you have all these people coming up to me, and it's like, what the fuck? And then the Cap Moon builds walls, and then the Gemini's like, come on in. Energetically, like, let's talk, blah, blah, blah. And the Cap Moon is like, people out my face. What the hell is this?
Yeah.
But it's all good. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Luke, we have a soulmate connection with you. This is solidified. Like, it's definitely the truth.
Luke is there. I'll be like,
she may hate Virgos, but Virgos are cool with me, B. Don't even worry.
If someone ever told me that, I'd be like, I'm my own soulmate. I'd be like, excuse me.
My heart goes out to, you know, those people when you do like a love reading or when you do a reading with the soulmate and they're like, oh, this doesn't apply to me. I don't have any soulmate. I'm my own soulmate, or I'm getting money out here. It's like, well, you see, I used to be like you too. I didn't care about that. I see you. And the reading always be about them too, which is crazy.
Like, this is about it's funny talking about readings being about the reader. It happens, you guys, you know, like it does happen. Like, for example, you know, there are people who are psychic who are able to transfer and kind of, I call this like triangulation sometimes. Okay, they're transferring their own perceptions, their own vision, their own beliefs onto other people, right? And they're able to triangulate, you know, this information, like that person transferred, then that person transferred, that go on and so on and so forth, right? I've seen this firsthand where you can get sucked in to that person's energy, into that person's world, and
Yeah.
it's um, I don't want to offend anybody, but it's usually a Pisces. It's usually a Pisces sun with like a earth sign moon or something that does that. Like they have the ability to transfer energy and get into people's heads and make them believe that this shit's real. You know? Like the shit that they're going through, you know what I mean? And so I'm just like, holy shit, because I've seen it firsthand and I experienced it. I was like, wait a minute, I had to question myself. Is this really real? Is this bitch
That's
fucking
also what
real?
it's called, being hypochondriac.
Yeah, and so you know who I'm talking about. But yeah, you know what? And I'm just like, is this fucking real, or this bitch fucking trying to lure me into her fucking
Water sign. Yeah.
and I was like, oh hell no.
Pisces moon does that shit. I've noticed that. I've known Pisces moons who does. And this is not hate to all Pisces moons.
I'm a Pisces.
Right. But see, you got the Virgo. I feel like you don't count because you got the Virgo rising and the Sag sun. So it's like you're not really like right. The Virgo's like, I see it is. But like, my Scorpio sister is a hypochondriac when she wants to be like. But other than that, it's so it's very very amazing because I feel like at the stage that we're at. I mean, if you think where we were 2 years ago, if you think where we were when we met, if you think where we were before we even met, we've just come into such considerable growth concerning the path, concerning fine-tuning the abilities, and I can't trust any of the signs. We all ain't shit. That's what's up. And outside of that, oh, go ahead.
That's another thing is that based on that energy and based on, you just gotta be you gotta really listen to what they say to you. Okay, that's how they get you. It's that Capricorn. Just kidding. No, well, this person was talking about a situation regarding her being attacked, right? And supposedly she thought that this whoever she was having beef with was attacking her. The same thing like with what happened with you. So I'm just wondering, you know, the other person that did the same thing to you. But anyway, she was talking about this and she was telling everybody about it, like all her closest friends. Oh, I think this person is doing things to me. I think and we should get together and do things to that person too.
Ooh.
And I was just like, I'm out.
Right, yeah.
I'm out. Like,
This-
you guys can do whatever the fuck you want, but I'm not doing shit to anybody, you know? And so she did that. She had a group of girls listening to her every fucking word, listening to whatever she said, and attacking, supposedly energetically attacking someone or whatever.
Right.
And where there's no real evidence behind that, right? And so that being said, that's what you need to watch out for when people are like that, when people try to tell you, oh, you know, please help me because I'm being attacked. We need to like go and attack this person together or whatever. You just gotta watch out for that, okay? That's a lot of people, okay? That's a lot of people in the spiritual community, unfortunately, where they try to make it seem that they're a victim and they're
A
not.
lot of victimization. A lot of victimization. A lot of like there's there's Pisces playing victim, and then there's just like the playing victim playing victim. And, like, see, Pisces knows how to play victim. Like y'all are good. Like, and I'm not talking about every Pisces, right? Just
No,
like
it's not everyone. It's just certain placements.
right. Like, there's some Geminis that know how to lie their ass off, right? And hopefully y'all are good, right? All Geminis know how to lie their ass off. But still, like, you know, there's some Pisces that know how to play victim out here. It is what it is. But the victimization in the spiritual community, once again, this is why I make so much to say spiritual community in quotes, because from the outside looking in, we're all a bunch of toxic ass delusional motherfuckers. That's what we look like. That's what people
We do look like that.
no
too.
respect. Like, people laugh about us. Oh, you do this? How that there's a whole image around what we do, and yet no one really knows what we do. And so that's why I like you have to understand to be a light worker in this community is to take on the toxic sludge of mental illness and bullshit and deception and fraudery. Like it's a lot to do it in an unregulated field that's still being pioneered. So I have nothing but respect for those of you who do it in integrity.
Yeah.
Y'all, and the people who I notice are naturally tuned in to extra dimensional beings, their higher self. I hate to use vague terms like that, but we're speaking on metaphysical phenomena that doesn't have English words because it's outside of reality. And to see really the integrity of how they deal with clientele and with people who open up, because when you do this path, you're dealing with people who open up vulnerably to gain advice from you. And so, you know, with so many people who prey on these people to hit on them or to fear monger them and be like, hey, you have a curse on you and you need to pay me $10,000.
And that was exactly her tactic.
That's the only way. You have to pay me $10,000.
What's up, guys?
You gotta pay me. I'm the one who get rid of this person for you. Like,
Trine is back.
What's up?
Woo.
I'm fashionably late because I was misdirected for it to be another time, and then I got mixed up because you guys have an appointment tomorrow.
Jax,
I'm gonna blame.
It's not your fault, bro. It's Mercury retrograde.
I was just about to say it's
in your sign, bro.
I can't be late for anything this next month. Nothing's my fault. I hold zero accountability whatsoever. I'm gonna double down on lack of accountability whenever possible. And
this is the one time you can actually blame Mercury retrograde in your sign. Like,
the one and only time. I never blame it for anything. Even if my phone stops working in a really bizarre way, I'm like, oh, guess it's my fault. Gotta fix my phone. It's a me problem.
To be fair, Jack, you did respond to our text about meeting tomorrow, and nobody cleared that up for you. So that actually makes sense.
There we go. Mercury. Mercury. It's Mercury and Ari. Mercury and Ari. It's both of your guys' faults.
So
you sent the text. Oh, well, Mike's gonna answer that because I don't know if he wants him there too.
Yeah, maybe he thinks that.
I was about to be like, Jax, I'm just talking about Ari, but I was like, no, I'm not gonna write that. I don't want to. I should have said that.
I'm talking to Ari.
I'm only talking to Ari. I didn't want to say that. You feel me? So like, I try to let that be, but it is.
I had people message me and be like, "Why aren't you live?" And I'm like, "What? How did you even know about that?" It's like, well, turns out there is a live. So what did I miss while I was gone?
A lot of shit.
We were talking about delusion and spirituality, and you'll love this, Jax. People who always say, my guide said forever.
Oh, man.
Jax right away. He's not having it.
Yeah, well, I once did a talk on this one guy's podcast. His name's Paul Takazolu. His podcast is the Beyond Homo Sapien podcast. I think we had talked.
I'm gonna talk with him too.
Yeah. And we had done a talk about people who take their past lives and they take their guides and they sort of use them as a way to like blame all these different things on situations. Where they'll be like, yeah, according to my guides, turns out in a past life, I, attacked my mother in a past life. And that's why we have terrible communication. I'm like, I don't know. I think you guys working on your communication issues might be what you do in this life. I don't know if we just say that it was from what happened in the previous life and just kind of blame it on that because of like accountability, right. That's a thing.
No, but that's a thing. Like people will take their whole past life and be like, oh, my guide said that I got molested by my own dad as a toddler. And it's like, do you know what you're saying could really damage this person's credibility only for you to just feel like your guys tell you like, nah, son.
And the modern spiritual view of like sexual assault of any kind, there's a lot of times where people will be like, well, yeah, in a past life, I was the one who did that. And that's why it's like you're acting as if the universe works in retribution. That the way karma works is it's about getting you back for when you did something wrong. And that is the most human thing on earth. Retribution is a human quality. It's not the universe doesn't do that.
And I love how you brought in the logic of it too, as far as like people feeling karma is like some tit for tat thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like a person who's stepped into their awareness of life realizes not to do that. So of course, like the grand consciousness of the universe isn't going to do that, you know?
Yeah.
Mike, stop.
I told you I'm petty gang. I'm petty gang.
What did I say, you guys? Okay, if you have a troll that's harassing you, the best thing to do is pretend they don't exist. That's the best thing to do. I mean, honestly, like they really don't exist.
That's the
Which troll?
One we all know, actually. I'm not gonna open up that can of worms. It's a huge can of worms, and I don't want to do that. So other than that, shout out to Christopher Witecki, though. That is that dude. Shout out to Serious Joy, and shout out to what that Jedi is doing to continually to collect it. But other than that, Jax, how do you feel? I mean, I was going to ask how you feel about Mercury retrograde, but you showed us already your experience with it. So, I mean, this week.
Yeah, I honestly, I'm like the Libra new moon in context to the Mercury retrograde is the thing that I'm finding the most interesting. First and foremost, it'll be like on October 6th that we not only have the new moon that's going to be in Libra and it's going to be conjunct Mars, but at the same time, we're also going to have the north node of Mercury in Libra, and we're going to have the south node of Mercury in Libra. South node of Mercury is going to be, let's see, what were the degrees again? South node of Mercury was going to be 0. Yeah, the north node of Mercury is going to be 0 degrees Libra. So it'll be in the first decan of Libra. And then the south node of Mercury is going to be in, let's see, it would be 24 degrees. So it's going to be really interesting during this retrograde to essentially see how the Libra archetype is actually dissected for all of us, whether or not you're actually a Libra or not. Your inner Libra is essentially being fully analyzed. And so I think that there's going to be a lot of questions around the kind of relationships you have and the way that you communicate in them. Obviously, that's going to be analyzed a lot, as well as essentially the full archetype. For example, if the north node of Mercury is moving out of its exaltation in Virgo and it's moving into Libra, then we know there's suddenly going to be this very conscious, clear analysis of like, okay, what's the pure original intention of Libra? The creation of peace, like in an authentic, actualized way, versus the creation of peace because you're actually trying to maintain and condition an environment that's conducive to success. Like those are two very different ways of, your social success, for example. Like those are two different ways of handling the exact same energy. And so I think we're like, essentially, we're all going to have our Libra archetype fully dissected if we're paying attention.
That's so true.
And then the north node of Venus is actually going to move into Virgo at the exact same time. So it's moving out of Leo and into Virgo.
And you're talking about Venus's north node.
Yeah. The north node. Yeah, the north node of Venus at that time, or the south node of Venus and the south node of Mars both will be in Scorpio at that time. And the north node of Venus is going to move out of Virgo into Libra at the same time that Mercury, the north node of Mercury is moving out of Virgo and into Libra. So it's really interesting to see how that's going to occur.
If the north node is in Virgo, is the south node in Pisces?
No, that's so with the planetary nodes. For example, we have the north and south node of Mercury both in Libra at the same time during a retrograde. So Mercury is going to be interacting with its own north and south node, and we're going to be experiencing. It's just like how, for example, on the Pisces full moon, I did this video, and I was talking about how the south node of Venus and the south node of Mars actually conjuncted at 29 degrees Libra, and then they moved into Scorpio. And that's part of why, for a lot of people, when Venus originally, the planet Venus, moved into Scorpio, it's bizarre because it didn't even feel like Venus Scorpio, but it also felt as though it left Libra, but it wasn't yet in Scorpio. And people were like, why is this? Why don't we have sort of that sharp energy? And then all of a sudden after the full moon, then all of a sudden it starts to be empowered. It's because that's the south node and the proclivities in our past lives and in the early stages of this life that are bringing up all these Venusian energies in the way that we actually handle them. And if whether or not we released the lack of value that we had, or we released the participation we have with energies that refuse to value us. So it's like, it's been such a giant shift that anyone who's really listening to their own consciousness right now probably feels like they're on this metal table being redesigned by the universe. You know, like everything that you're calling attention to is being seen. So anyways, that's my extreme large tangent for the day.
And shout out to Jax. Jax is, I like to keep things thoroughly basic. Like I'm going to stick at the basics for a while, but Jax, you're just so very fascinating. Jax is going into minor aspects, and you're the first person I've ever heard talk about nodes of planets. And I really like how you really know the advanced elements of astrology. So that's something to look forward to on the Mystical Illuminations channel. Jax is going to put out a series soon about, going more into that.
Well, thank you. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And actually, I just feel like the north and south, the planetary nodes are not talked about very much because people wonder kind of what their value is. But the thing is, if you're seeing us as a collective soul and you're looking at how the south, I mean, for example, you look at the planetary nodes of like Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, Neptune, they're taking hundreds of years to actually shift into new signs. And so collectively, we're all experiencing a lot of, intense transits over such a long time. But for us personally, for example, I've got Venus Libra in the 8th house, and I've got the south node of Venus, though, conjunct Pluto and Scorpio. And so the amount of ways in which my south node Venus conjunct Scorpio has explained retroactively all of these incredibly vampiric relationships I was in my life is just absolutely wild. And the amount of the north node of Venus being in 7th house Virgo that has explained what I totally veered away from any chance that I got. So it's really, it's just funny. The planetary nodes are not more important than the planetary placements, but they're at least equal. They're equal,
Right.
not more.
Right. And that opens up a whole can of worms for like special readings to do too. If you want to really look into the nodal Venus aspects, that would be awesome.
Yeah, a synastry chart before using the planetary nodes, synastry charts were different. Now that I'm looking at the north and south nodes of Venus and Mars, for example, when I look at two people, you can start to see so many different things unravel and completely change from what you originally would have looked at had you just been looking at the planets. So it's just me kind of veering off into this world of an abstract element of astrology. It's not mandatory, but I really wish more people talked about it because it's gonna make a difference collectively.
And how do you find that out? Is that in astro.com or do you need a special software?
Yeah, you can use Solar Fire. So for example, I'm going to have to create a dual boot partition on my Mac so that I can run it, or I can maybe run like parallels with it. But until then, I've just been doing it manually. I use this Ephemeris website that actually has the planetary nodes, and I've been taking the iPhemeris program that I have, and then I've been illustrating the north and south nodes in my own chart and in the charts of my clients or someone I'm doing a mentorship with, or the daily astrology. So anytime I ever do any type of collective astrology reading or horoscope, it will, from this point on at least, always include the north and south nodes. Because in the last few months, I've gone obsessed essentially, and I'm glad. So
yep, that obsession.
Yeah.
As we can see, and super awesome. This is really amazing. Someone mentioned that they love our energy together. So I forgot how amazing we are together. We haven't done this in a while. So yeah. I mean, for as far as like how frequently we may do this, if you guys want, we could probably come back every other week, or we could do this every week. We'll see as time allows. But other than that, I mean, shout out to Crystal Sun Hearing.
Hey, hola, ¿cómo está? ¿Cómo está, Perú? Hey, did you go get the did you go do some gazpacho ceremony? Crystal Sun healing?
Gazpacho.
Gazpacho.
Someone said they they always wanted to talk astrology, but the way we do it, you may watch us, definitely watch us. I mean, I don't know how to fix my car, so I go to a mechanic, but I would still recommend taking every day to just learn a bit more about astrology, because it took me at least 8 years to be as fluent as I am. I mean, I got it pretty quickly, but it did take years to like perfect it. And other than that, as we go throughout the week, we see by Thursday, we're going to have the moon in Cancer. We're going to end the week off with the moon in Leo. Mercury is going to be still squaring Pluto all week, and the sun's going to be getting closer to Mars. So that looks like to me an increasing aggression, more decisive, assertive focus, while Mercury squaring Pluto all week is this intense dialogue that's definitely going to be taking place. And shout out to Crystal Sun Healing. On my way back to LA, and then the dispatcher is next. But
La selva, the jungle.
And
the Amazon.
True that, Hank. And other than that, like, we have the moon opposite Jupiter and coming opposite this. So we definitely have moon in Gemini to Leo. We have the sun coming closer and opposite Chiron, and Mercury square Pluto. What do y'all think about that? That's insane. That's very intense.
Yeah, I think that so actually for me, I almost am, let's see, it would be, you're looking at October 2nd. So part of what to me is really interesting about that is the trine that we're going to have between the south node of Mercury and Jupiter and the north node of Mercury and Saturn. Part of me, like, I feel like the moon essentially, especially at that particular point, it's going to be just basically bringing a lot of things to our consciousness. It's basically bringing a lot of collectively what's happening to the front, especially because the moon's going to transit the north node of Neptune at this point. And so it's going to also be catching up to the north node of Venus. So it's kind of interesting because to me, it's like all of us are going to feel a radical shift into at least a preview of our higher ideal actualized, because with Leo and the self-actualization, it feels like a lot of the possibilities and things that we're heading towards are going to be brought to the front, and we'll actually get to see a preview of ourselves acting as though we really are what we have aspired to be for such a long time. And so to me, it's like, I just look at it as a grand preview. That's really what seems to stand out to me the most.
Especially over the last 6 months too, ever since Aries season. So I really like that. And that just, it's like every day as we get closer to Mars, I see that as like a conflict climaxing, or something that once we step into next week, boom, action opposite Chiron. So this week to me is very much a setup, because next week is the new moon. We start the new cycle. I feel like the moon that's going over Cancer in the middle of the week is going to completely transform. Like if you've been stuck on certain feelings, if you've been trying to get over somebody, an ex, if you've been working the courage to like tell somebody your true feelings, I feel like that opposition to Pluto and conjunction to Pluto is like killing those feelings, or like bringing up that extremity, right? So that you can address it. Boom. But this time it's square Libra. And we haven't had this opposition square Libra and square Aries. So now we have that conduit of actual relationship context where this is going to be channeled through, especially with Mars. So that T-square between Mercury and Pluto, I think, is not only going to be a breakthrough point, guys. That's going to be on Thursday. Yup. Thursday is definitely I want to say Wednesday night, Thursday morning, afternoon is something to be mindful of, because that's going to really climax whatever conflict is happening. Mercury square Pluto to me is that scary conversation that you may not want to, right? It's like telling, it's like telling your boss, hey, I'm not going to get vaccinated. I'm sorry, like I'm gonna have to get fired. Or, it's telling your partner, hey, I don't like that you do that in bed. We're gonna have to break up if you keep doing this, or not. Or it's really, talking about the uncomfortable conversations. And so with the moon and its dignity, I think that that's gonna really flare things up, and it's going to be a huge breakthrough point coming into Moon in Leo, where you come into the confidence. This is 11th house to Libra. It's going to be such a glorious setup, and that brings me back to Jax with you saying, stepping into this sense of what you're visualizing and who you're becoming, which I think is so true. And looking forward to that too.
Yeah, it's going to be, it's interesting, and it's all over. Like, it feels like there's so many call forwards, and and also even the little things, like, Mars in Virgo, for example, was bringing up so much intensity around changing our lives in just like the daily form, or changing our lives in sort of, the little ways. But it's funny because as we're seeing some of these shifts, now it's become so clear how important it really is, and how it's about, because some people are worried about Mars in Libra, or they think it's, bad because it's in detriment. But to me, this is really just essentially calling all of us to demand a better deal, and to even be willing to fight against the contracts that we originally sort of like signed under the thumb of another powerful force. And I think that applies collectively as well as individually, and that changing ourselves is something that we're essentially, the universe is repeatedly sort of showing us over and over again, especially through bad relationships and misconnected friendships.
No, definitely true that. And what do you feel about Venus squaring Jupiter and sextiling Pluto?
Honestly, I think especially with the support of its own south node, Venus's own south node, I feel like what's going to come up is a special kind of remembrance. And this would be a remembrance to essentially the times in our life at which our relationships were connected essentially to our higher ideal, in which basically inspired optimism. It's going to bring us back to a time in which, when we met new people, we assumed that things were going to go well, and we assumed all these different things. And the square aspect of it is essentially just facing the fact that we experienced a whole lot of reasons to harden our heart, and to decide to step back from people in that scorpionic way, and to stay concealed, but instead to essentially get challenged to reveal ourselves, to live a bit of optimism, and therefore not only experience but also inspire others in that same optimism, to feel that happen in such a way where we can actually make peace with our pasts, rather than getting, like we talked about earlier, retribution. Instead of retribution, we can create real peace through confrontation.
And that reminds me of what you advise. Like, it's one of the first things you spoke on when I first met you, about how, like, sometimes you might want to hold back what you really want to say because it might cause conflict, but that's actually doing a disservice. So yeah,
most of my Libra life was involved in that energy. It was like it was peace, because I just wasn't confronting people on tons of things, but it wasn't real peace. It was the illusion of peace. And it was the sacrifice of the self-expression in our son. Like, there was no expression happening, because it was all just the appearance of expression tailored to whoever it was that I wasn't confronting. And so, yeah, it's really interesting how quickly the roster changes as soon as you make that decision that you're going to start that.
Right. And feel the uncomfort anyway, and just, build through that, because that's a huge deal, like not wanting to cause the friction. But regardless, I think this week is going to be very interesting. Once again, it's a major setup. Like, we're getting set up for the new moon, so we're harvesting the full moon cycle of the Pisces, which is very magical. Now the moon is about to enter Cancer, I believe, and we're getting ready to. So this is actually the last day of the moon in Cancer is the last. Where you're gonna harvest that full moon perception into special power, and I'm definitely looking forward to that. So I guess now, before we do the live readings, we can look into each of the zodiac signs. I'll actually pull a tarot card for what to expect each week.
Can I talk about the galactic vision here?
Yes.
Actually,
okay.
Yeah.
So in my personal view, as well as in my own teachings from my own belief system, we look at the galactic vision beyond the solar system, because that actually influences the solar system in itself. So right now in the night sky in September, the September constellations that you can look out for, or you can actually connect to, are Capricornus, which is, Capricorn, the ram. And then we have Cygnus, which is the actual swan. And we have Delphinus, which is the dolphin. We also have Equilius, which is the head of the horse. Indus, which is it's just like this weird triangle thing. A Microscopium, which is kind of like from the Kale family, okay? And then the final one is Vulpecula, which is the small fox, or the little fox. So what these have to do with the influence, I would say look at the actual fixed stars within them, because the fixed stars do have an influence in, I would say, through the conjunction to different planetary connections here in the solar system. But the biggest one that we're going to find this week, actually on the 29th, is the Andromeda Galaxy. All right. The Andromeda Galaxy is this huge influence now, because it's merging with us. A lot of astronomers are going to tell you what's happening with the Andromeda Galaxy is expanding. So it's huge, right? It's enlarging itself, it's expanding, it's creating new stars. So what the expansion is happening is pushing the expansion towards our own galaxy, towards the Milky Way galaxy, and it's merging with us energetically. It already merged. But physically, it's starting to look that way to astronomers when they watch it. So on the 29th, if you guys are inclined, I would meditate and connect to the Andromeda Galaxy, because a lot of us have actual aspects or connections to this galaxy in particular, and we're able to bridge the energies between the Andromeda Galaxy and the Milky Way.
Is that near Pisces?
What's that?
Is Andromeda in Pisces or near Pisces?
It's what in the night sky right now is supposed to, you're able to look at it if it's on the 29th, and it's going to be conjunct what planet was that? It's not Pisces.
Neptune?
Yeah. No, it's not Neptune. It's going to be I forgot. I read it somewhere. But anyway, it doesn't matter. You have to connect to the galaxy itself.
Gotcha.
So energetically speaking, meditation, projection of energy towards the galaxy, and receiving the galactic energy of that particular galaxy within you, and grounding that information into yourself. Because this, like Jackson said, there's a lot of revelations that are going to happen. And it just so happens that the Andromeda is highly influential this week. For anybody who's been curious about their starseed origins with that particular galaxy, it is the best time for you to connect there. Okay. So check on the 29th. Let's see, because it was like conjunct. Let's see.
Yeah, the 29th, we're going to have a grand water trine with the moon in Cancer, Neptune, and Venus, which is why I wanted to know. Because well, I'm glad you answered it like that too, because it's beyond the constellations.
It's beyond, yeah, it's way beyond what you're seeing as astrology in the solar system right now. We're talking about galaxy energy, and receiving it in your own self is important. You could filter it through our sun, of course. Filter the energy through the sun and directly into you. That's the best way. That's the method that I was taught, where we actually connect two stars or two galaxies through our sun. So you guys can do that. You guys can definitely do that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Through our awareness. All right. So yeah, that's amazing. And I guess on that vein, and just like Haley said, very powerful. On that vein, yeah, let's go through the zodiac signs. Did you guys want to? Oh yeah, that's how we used to do it before. Remember, we used to choose an element.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Someone choose one. Usually, Mike would do two.
How about instead we'll do Right, because I was also thinking too. What about instead one of us does mutable signs, the other of us does cardinal, and then one of us will do fixed.
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. At the count of 3, you guys say which one you want to do. Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Cardinal. God damn it! You guys didn't even
Mutable.
Jack didn't say nothing at all. I love it. Oh, wow. We all kind of picked our own one personally. That's amazing.
Oh, I picked mutable.
Right, exactly. And then I think Ari picked cardinal, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's perfect.
So like we all picked like none of us picked the same one. That's awesome.
Yeah. That's great. And I literally, whatever you guys said, I was just gonna wait, take about 3 or 4 seconds, and then just do it. Yeah.
Of course, Libra's gonna wait. I'm just
yeah.
gonna wait. I want everybody to have what they want, and I'm just gonna sacrifice my own happiness for everyone else's.
Well, I don't sound like that, but I mean.
Oh, okay.
But Gemini's like, I'll take it anyway. I'll take whatever.
Good. All right. Do you want to do rock, paper, scissors, or who goes first? Or do we start with no fixed and then go mutable?
Since you're at the top and you're doing fixed, you go first.
Okay.
And then since I'm in the middle, I'll do cardinal, and then or you know what? Jax can do mutable after you because I want to be my Libra rising, my progress Libra rising, and I want to sacrifice myself and give Jax the opportunity to go before me.
Oh, so you're gonna go after Jax?
Yes.
Oh, okay, perfect. All right, perfect.
Fixed mutable cardinal.
By the way, I'm enjoying all the support. It looks like you guys are really enjoying us three together, and I love that. I really love that.
Yeah, we also are going to start an OnlyFans, you guys. So the 3 of us are going to be doing an OnlyFans.
Actual three.
Yeah. So you guys got to check that out.
Tarot.
You won't find it on the internet. It's sort of like on the underweb, but it's going to be out there pretty soon.
It's exclusive.
Jax, of course, wants to do OnlyFans, like
X-rated and the X is for his telephone. All right.
Kardashian energy sneaking up on you, huh, Jax?
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
So this is for Taurus. Feels like we're watching the Soul Avengers come back together. Retrograde reunion. Oh yeah, the retrograde. That's great.
Yeah, that is kind of funny.
Right. All right. Boom.
Cosmic dark web.
Yeah.
All right, Scorpio and Aquarius. Oh, we got a meme on the way. All right, so the underlying theme for all the fixed signs. So Aqua risings, Taurus risings, Leo risings, Scorpio risings, Sun, Moon, 4th house in a fixed sign, 3rd house in a fixed sign, Venus in a fixed sign, whatever you have in fixed. The underlying card or theme that we have is the Moon card. Things are not as they seem, especially when you take into account the fact that most people are not really aware of their own subconscious influences. So the Moon is going to intuitively give you the shade. It's going to literally have you feel the shade. It's going to literally have you be receptive to the subconscious intent that you'll see mirrored in people's actions, where they're saying one thing, they might literally be deluding themselves, because this is a card of illusions. So these are the lies we tell ourselves when we say, I don't look fat in that dress. My breath doesn't smell like shit right now. I tell my song is totally amazing. And, I hate to sound like negative like that, but this is where the Moon will kind of show you these discrepancies between what you see versus what you sense. So this is also the card of psychic ability, the occult, and I feel like you're going to be exercising greater discernment in interlapping your dreams with reality, listening to the messages in your dreams. But really what I'm picking up is a deep subconscious insight. It's like someone who could mean well, you might be feeling off energy coming through them. Maybe it's a projection. Maybe you could be sensing negative feelings they're hiding. You know what I'm saying? So things are not as they seem on the surface. Trust more what you feel, and don't be so afraid to own on that. Once again, don't do the whole "my guide said I'm feeling this from you." Confirm it, but just trust your intuition. But more so, things are not the same. So Taurus, we have the Two of Swords, which is the moon in Libra. This is saying that you don't want to reveal your hand. You don't want people to necessarily pressure you to make a decision before you're ready. And you want to make sure that you, as emotionally as you may get about things, you balance it with logic. Don't make any decisions that are not logically ruled, or at least have some basis of intellect to balance how you feel. But I really get the sense with this Taurus, don't tell anybody anything that happens this week. Don't tell anybody about the $1 million you won in the lottery. Don't tell anybody about the new partnership you're in. Like, you want to actually keep very silent, because if you were to tell these people these things, you don't know yet who is secretly plotting against you. Okay, just like I didn't know who the person who I was rooting on their side felt I was a fake psychic the whole time. I didn't even know, like, they felt their guide said something. So it's like, keep all this to yourself, because people's character during this Libra season will reveal who they are, and that'll make you dodge a bullet. Leo, we have, Taurus never reveals their hand. Leo, we have the Knight of Wands, Sagittarius. So this is you coming into a lot of boldness, a lot of passion. If you needed passion out of a creative block, you'll get it. But I feel like some of you may be going on a short road trip that will come into great epiphanies. I feel like some of you might be moving short distance. This could actually be a Sagittarius that wants to waltz its way into your pants. This is really the getting in your pants card to me. It's a very sexual card. But it's always like, I'm not that Sag, but like personally,
it might be you.
This is a Sag male. But personally, this I feel is either you coming into this sense of passion, or I think it's you gaining a message of passion from someone who really inspires you this week and matches your energy. Okay, shout out to Lemon Readings, talking with Sag Guy about relationships. So this is going to be an archetype you're dealing with, and it's going to mirror you. So next we have Scorpio. Scorpio got Archangel Michael, Temperance, bridging the physical realm with the subconscious realm, moderation, being okay with, because this is Scorpio I'm talking to. So y'all see the unseen, y'all manifest light, and so you're bridging in with Sagittarius. And that's what I learned about Sagittarius. Sagittarius and Temperance is the art of creating anything out of nothing. So you're literally drawing from that realm of imagination, and you're balancing it as above, so below. But this is definitely saying to have good management and moderation. Scorpio, you are the most obsessive zodiac sign in the chart. Do not obsess this week. I don't even think that this is about addictions as much as it is you're going to start off great. Just start off with good management, and don't let too much of a good thing be a bad thing, basically. And I think that for those of you who've been wanting to put your life in balance with this energy, you have angelic support. And Aquarius, we have the Seven of Pentacles. You are harvesting this mortal human playground, okay? Humans are your farm. You're harvesting the minds. I don't want to kind of bring this Matrix thing before the celestial invasion where like the Saiyans come through or the Viltrumites come through. You're still harvesting this planet to see, who's ready. Our people are kind of ready with ideals. Personally, for you, Aquarius, this is talking about your goals. This is talking about, yes, whatever you're working on is very worth it. It's just you're building a farm that has ingredients and materials that people don't even know exist yet. The farm you're building is big. You're not building a small farm. You're putting the seeds in for concepts that will last you a long time. But this is going to take a while to grow, because you're not growing some small boo-boo ass farm. You're growing a farm that's going to have you be set. And so this is just you, nurturing the seeds, planting it, having patience. For those of you in crypto, this is you seeing your assets slowly grow instead of things just shooting to the moon. You really want to stay, up to it, because you're going to have a slow growth. It's not like the thing where the dollar turns into 100. It turns into $1.50, then it turns into $2.50, then it goes back to 2, then it turns into 3, and you're going to be able to monitor this. And this is a promise of fortune. And that's all I got for the fixed signs.
That's awesome. For the mutable signs, Gemini, first of all, you guys, from my point of view, have kind of the best seat in the house as far as October 6th through October 11th. Yeah. Because not only are you going to be, depending on what all you have in your sign, you're not only going to be in a trine with this new moon, you're not only going to be in a trine most likely with this retrograde, but also very likely with the north and south nodes. And so you're going to be seeing its ruler. So if you think of Mercury, for example, and you think of the north and south node of itself, it's going to all be within its own first house. So it's all about the identity of your ruler, and it's all about basically being seen and uncovering that. I think the way that this is going to happen for you guys is it's actually going to be a very easygoing revelation of truth, especially about everyone else who's in your life. Literally everyone else, the best characteristics they have, and some of the most basically some of the worst characteristics that they have. And on top of that, at the end of this, by about October 11th, that'll be when the north node of Mars moves from Cancer, where it's currently at like 2 degrees, and it's going to move into Gemini. And so to end this off with essentially the greatest possible assertion Mars can make from the right place, from a place of compassion after having left Cancer, it's going to feel like you're on top of the world, and that every action that you take has an incredibly strong impact. Every word that you say, every negotiation or deal that you make, all of it is going to have just resounding impact. And you'll be like, it's weird, I didn't even really try that hard. And it's like, yeah, this is going to be eerily easy for you guys. And then for Virgo, on the other hand, it feels like collectively you have, especially with this upcoming new moon, but just in general, recently, you have experienced so much of the collective burden of keeping everything together, and you've been very successful at being able to literally reorganize your life. What you're drawn to realize, of course, during the new moon is that you can reorganize your life and almost perfect it all you want, but if you're spending any time essentially with people that represent or are archetypally chaos, then it's going to disrupt your perfection and your serenity. So like if you organize your life and you improve all these things, you also have to really think about the company that you keep and about if the people in your life are compatible with the order that you've created. And with Sagittarius, you guys have such a long-term transit that's happening for you guys. South node of Jupiter takes, decades to move, between signs. And south node of Jupiter is currently at 29 degrees Sagittarius. It's about to move in a few days into Capricorn. And so with the south node of Jupiter, your ruler, you're looking at ways in which mankind has created these multi-generational sort of evolving philosophy dialectics, and the way that you've participated in that, the way that you've been a natural at understanding how collective wisdom pools at certain points, and you're going to watch it suddenly shift as it moves into Capricorn. You're going to suddenly see that philosophies seem to be so much more about misusing power than they are sort of ascending to our highest self and handling power responsibly. And so what your responsibility is going to be over this next couple of weeks as this shift happens and you begin to feel the south node of your ruler leave you, you're essentially just going to have to really pay attention to what you're investing your time in and what you're investing your thoughts in, because your thoughts are a currency. And as it moves essentially into Capricorn, your second house, you're going to start to realize that some of the bad investments you've made, perhaps you on one hand, you invested a bunch of time in learning from a yogi and you had a really positive experience from that. And then on the other hand, you also tried to learn some other type of divination or something from someone else. You're going to suddenly recognize if that time was ill spent, and you're going to also recognize what it is that you'd rather spend it on. You're going to have to act accordingly the way Capricorn does. And then finally with Pisces, this is going to be interesting. The south node of Mercury is going to quincunx Neptune in your sign during the new moon. I would say also just the new moon in general and its interaction with Neptune is going to be really interesting to witness. I think for Pisces, what's very realistically going to happen is you're going to see a lot of things that you were very confident were revealed actually be revealed. So you thought that you already revealed all these different things about the way that you were mistaken, and suddenly you're going to reveal that actually you were dead right the first time, and that the revelation originally was not the revelation of truth, that was the revelation of an illusion. And the way that you know it's a revelation of illusion almost every single time is that another person was responsible for giving you that. Another person was responsible for leading you into your revelation of truth. And so this true revelation that's going to happen is going to be like, it's going to, it's going to be pretty difficult emotionally if you have like a strong attachment to what you thought that you knew. But if you allow yourself to recognize it, then obviously you can bask in the light of the truth, and you can continue your evolution. So that's what I see.
Good job, guys. Proud
Most
of you.
definitely.
Proud of you guys. All right. So we got a tarot guy, we got the astrology guy, and then we got the galactic girl. All right.
There we go.
So we're going to do galactic reads for the signs, for the cardinals. We're going to start with Cappies because I like Capricorns. They're my favorites. Even if you're a Capricorn moon, I like you.
You
guys.
accidentally mispronounced Libra.
Oh,
You accidentally
sorry.
said Capricorn
Libras
instead of
are
Libra.
my
It's okay. Mistakes happen. It's fine.
are my favorites, second to Capricorns.
That's okay. There's still time to learn.
I'm a progress Capricorn sun right now, and progress Libra rising, and a progress Cancer moon. So I feel shit, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
That Cancer moon, man. All right, so we got Capricorn, survival fears coming from Zeta Reticuli. Zeta Reticuli star is a binary star in the Reticulum constellation. So I would say the same thing as, I would say, like, what does Capricorn need to feel abundant, secure in itself? Well, it obviously needs a stability, a stable environment where they can express themselves to the fullest of their abilities, and they can be acknowledged for that expression as well. When we have this energy coming in, especially from this binary star system, these are about hiding your weaknesses from the world so that they don't take advantage of these things. Okay. It might be, I would say this is applicable to a lot of the Capricorn moons, in particular, the emotional aspect of this sign, where we might be hiding behind this very stoic persona. And in fact, we are just trying to scramble, trying to make it through the day. I also feel that in this particular energy for Capricorn rising in particular is to really show the world that you can do both, right? You can be the boss, but you could also be sensitive. You could also understand other people's needs and your own. So this week, I feel that the strength that's going to come from all this work that you've been doing, especially your inner work, is going to be ultimately you having a revelation of all of that work coming to fruition, kind of like a manifestation. Like, I also see like instant manifestations happening for you guys if you apply the energy to it, meaning if you finally get through to yourself and you admit, hey, I do need some assistance here, hey, I do need some guidance here, then this survival fear is going to shift, and it's going to shift into, pretty much abundance. It's going to shift into thriving. Okay. But I feel like this has a lot to do with in particularly. I keep getting pinged on the Capricorn moons in particular, but it could be applicable to Capricorn suns and Capricorn risings. So just be mindful of your needs and express them. You know, you can't hide it forever. Can't hide what you need forever. All right, next one is, we're going to do Libra, since those are my second favorite people.
All right, here we go. So freaking one.
Yeah. I used to treat my mattress like an ATM. What? So you're hiding money there, or what? Like,
Oh, yeah, okay.
that's what I
What's
thought.
the point?
It might be
Does that
something
mean?
else, though.
Treating your mattress like an ATM.
What are you thinking there, Jax?
Well, no, that's my mind immediately went to having like a coin slot on the bed, and I was like, "What's going on here?" So, okay, this makes more sense. Okay.
Like a piggy bank?
It's something like that, yeah.
All right. Ooh, perfect card for you guys. The Pleiades, seeking karmic
Okay.
balance.
There we go.
To me, I always feel, in my opinion, it's a very Taurus energy as well as a very Libra energy, the Pleiadians. They come in and they try to help you out with, you know, problem solving. They're diplomatic. They're always trying to guide you. Of course, they don't violate your free will. They always try to guide you to the best approach towards a situation, such as, like, if you have an argument with someone, how can you resolve this argument? How can you change the trajectory of, you know, your path at that time? So that being said, for Libra, you know, this is exactly where you guys, you know, you're so gifted at this. Jax, of course, being the only Libra I know at this time. but it's true, like there's this gift of the Libra to see both sides of a story, right? And there's also an understanding that if we act based on limited information, then we're just going to screw ourselves up, right? So that's why this Pleiadian energy coming in for Libra is perfect for this time, where they're highlighting that diplomacy, they're highlighting that think before you act energy that Libra brings to the table, especially because we just hit, you know, retrograde, you know, Mercury retrograde. So this is something in particular that you might have to deal with right now, Libra, where you might have someone that comes to you and gives you information about somebody else, like gossip, right? And then you might be expected to react. You might be expected to take sides. You might be expected to do more than what is required of you, or more, like you're going to be expected to really look at this person or these people who are doing this to you, who are putting you in these positions, and really address the elephant in the room. Like, is it me? Am I the toxic one, or is it them? Right? Like, it's gonna be like that. It's like,
them,
really address that. Like, why am I attracting toxic people? Why am I attracting dramatic people? Is it me or is it them? Like, what's going on here? So looking at the bigger picture, looking at both sides, looking within yourself, and asking for yourself questions like, when am I gonna break this? Right? When am I gonna break this cycle? When am I gonna learn that not everybody has the best intentions for me? When am I going to learn that not everybody has my heart, right? And so that's what this is bringing, is a seeking of pretty much just clarification and taking action on that. Okay, so that's what I have for you, Libra. Oh, Rick, it's them.
It's them. That's what it is. If it's between a Libra and them, then it's got to be them.
Jack's like, it's them.
It's for sure them. Yeah.
Yeah. And what that card means, it really is them. Like, not gonna lie, that's exactly what it is. It is them. All right. So next we got is, let's do Cancer next. Stop tipping our scales. It really, like, I don't, I've had best friends that are Libra throughout my entire life, and honestly, the way that they react to the most toxic people, I'm just like, they're crazy. Leave them alone. Don't give them a second chance.
I know.
Like, I feel like shaking them. Like, don't.
It's curiosity.
Libra knows how to talk to people. So Libra can have the most sane conversation with the craziest person,
Yeah.
and then forget, oh wait, they're the craziest person ever.
Yeah.
While Ari is pulling for the rest, guys, we are opening up for live readings. If any of you would like a divine trine reading from the three of us, all three of us will answer your question. The minimum is 40. Okay. I don't know why you wouldn't want one. So run your pockets. But we got the links below: PayPal, Cash App, Venmo. For those of you who would like a live reading, we are open. And yeah.
Next for Mr. Krabby Pants, Cancer. My little girl's a Cancer sun, so I love you guys. You guys have taught me so much about, I mean, she's just perfect. I don't know if you guys had kids that are Cancerians, but they're fucking awesome. Holy shit. No trouble whatsoever. They they're so like attentive and mindful, and I just love you guys. Like, I'm just like, I love Cancerians. All right, so embracing family. So this is coming from Zeta Reticuli, the binary star system in the Reticulum constellation. So again, you guys, Cancerians, they're homebodies, right? They're here to make the family unit stronger. They're here to be supportive. They're also here to lead. They're not just a support system, they're actually leaders as well. So who in their family has a Cancerian as the top, dog, pretty much like the actual the leader of the family, the matriarch, the patriarch, whatever. I feel like this is definitely a time for you to shine, Cancer, even with all the chaos going on. And I'm sure that you're in the middle of everything too. You're there as a support system for all of the crazies too, just like Libra. But you're also there to resolve the issues. You're also there to embrace the differences of opinions in other people, and to really help them understand that even if they have a different mindset, even if they believe a different belief system, you're still gonna love them unconditionally, right? And so this is what this energy brings for this week for Cancer, is the understanding of your energy and the fortitude of that as being the pretty much the established foundation for your family unit, for your loved ones, for those that you care about. They're not going to find anyone that is as loyal as you, as loving as you. And so that's what the embracing family is definitely teaching you, as well as teaching them to understand that there is no one that's going to have their back like you do. So that's what I have for you, Cancer. All right. Let's see who else. So Aries, saving the best for last, Aries. No offense, Libra. Just kidding.
That's okay. It's not personal. If you really think that, then you're silly. I'm just joking.
Okay, let's see. Oh, beyond wisdom. Beyond wisdom. So this is the founders. So in accordance to this channeled information that this person created for who the founders are, right? these are some beings, some astral beings that decided that it'll be a good idea to create life or to assist in the creation of life, a modification of the current state of the humanoid structure within this galaxy, starting at Lyra. Okay, that was where they started all of this stuff, right? So beyond wisdom is an understanding that of how you've come from the, I would say, from the void, from creator, right? You're coming from the void and bringing everything from within the void outwards. Okay, so channeling information, receiving information, giving that information to whomever needs it, right? Another thing is it might just be a little bit problematic at this time for you, Aries, because not a lot of people are ready to hear it. Not a lot of people are at your level, okay, when it comes to the truth that you are trying to spread here, right? Not a lot of people are going to see it that way. A lot of people have their own reservations. A lot of people have their own points of view, right? But because of this energy of the beyond wisdom, this is when you're going to be able to just know that, hey, I gave the information, it's out there. Now it's time for me to detach, because it's up to them to do whatever they need to do with that information. I need to detach from the outcome. Okay, so that's what beyond wisdom actually entails even more, is the detachment. Okay, detaching from the outcome. When you give advice to someone, don't expect them to listen. Don't expect them to actually heed your words. Don't expect them to actually, do the things that you're telling them to do. Just tell them, here's some advice, man. Like, here's the cards. The cards are on the table. If you pick them up, you pick them up. I'm good. Either way, this doesn't affect me, right? That's exactly what you're learning. That it doesn't affect you, okay, any longer. They have no control over their life or the actions that they're taking. That's where beyond wisdom takes place even more. Okay, so connect to that energy within you, connect to that void, connect to the truth within you, and then you won't be able to suffer a fool's quest anymore. Okay, so that's what I have for you guys.
And there we have it. That is the return of the divine trine. Once again, for anyone who would like a live reading, we just got right now payment from Wendy. Appreciate you. Could you give me a general reading overall? Thanks. So, yeah, which one of y'all wanted to start off first?
I will.
Perfect.
Let's take a look at what's going on for you. So I've got the Three of Cups. There we go. And the Tower. So Three of Cups and the Tower. Essentially, this is a moment in which, both in an emotional way and in terms of your psychic connection to other people, it feels like this is a time where you know that you're heading towards something better. You're heading towards joy. I think at the same time, though, that you recognize that there is a price tag for this joy. Like, the joy of authenticity always comes with the price tag of any type of draconian, essentially like old type of structure that's inauthentic and led by other people, or especially ones that are forced upon you. So I would say, all in all, the biggest thing you can do right now is to lean into all connections, relationships, and friendships where you are with those who are most authentic and that you have an extremely psychic connection to. And at the same time, to be willing to pay the price for that, which the Tower is going to show. It means a lack of comfort because all of a sudden an old structure has been destroyed. However, the point is that, like, when the Tower is destroyed, you take the raw materials, you take the stones and the metals and the precious stones, and you reallocate them into a superior structure that's able to withstand the test of time and be able to withstand the effects that your authenticity has when the world reacts to you being authentic. So I'd say that that's what's most important.
Beautiful.
This is for Wendy, you said?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Miss Wendy, you got a lot of fairy folk that want your attention right now, so I had to pull this deck. All right, let's see. Whoa! Okay. That one jumped right out. So we got manifestation coming in for you. So this is funny because I actually I had pulled this card on a reading for my channel for this week, and this was actually the first one for Monday and Tuesday. So you're in it. You're in this energy. So being very honest with yourself regarding what it is that you really desire is one of the most important parts of manifesting, right? Being honest, seeing it through, as well as feeling as if it's already yours, meaning putting yourself in that position, in that time and space, in order for you to anchor this manifestation, in order for you to actually see it. Okay. Another thing is kind of like making sure that you believe it, making sure you believe in yourself, making sure you believe that this can be accomplished. Okay, with manifestation work, it's not just speaking it, it's not just doing the ceremonies, actually belief, emotional backing, and physical work, okay, towards that goal. And so that'll be something very important for you to really concentrate on in this week, you know, to really address the direction that you're trying to go towards, what you're trying to manifest. If you want someone in your life, then ask yourself why you want them. If you want someone out of your life, then ask yourself why you want them out of your life, right? Or if you want someone or something like a better living environment, things like that, then ask yourself what's going on in your current environment as well, okay? And then from there, feel as if it's already yours. Feel as if you already have it within you and around you, okay? So that's what I have for you, Wendy.
Boom. So next, so the card I have for you, I actually have the Lovers card. So generally, this doesn't have to really apply romantically, especially if you're indecisive about, because the Lovers card is a choice. Are you going to open your heart or not? Are you going to commit or not? Because the excitement of being in love with someone is amazing, but the responsibility of commitment is another thing. And there's a choice of that, right? So this is talking about uniting your mind and your heart. You're going to find that you're more aligned with what you love to do. And this is going to open up, whether through romantic potential or just more creativity. But without making this too much of a romance card, I think you're going to have the opportunity to connect mentally and at a heartfelt level to approach romantically and to your passion. So this is positive. It's definitely speaking of great development concerning your heart. And boom, next we have J-Lo. Jax is on his way back.
Oh, I was like, where's Jax?
Yeah, he had to go. I think maybe he's a quick break, but like he'll definitely be back, and then we will resume. Or
Astro Psychic says,
yep. We about to see what her guide said, and it might not be a good thing. So,
but you have receipts, so that's all that matters.
it is what it is. I'm just so toxic. I'm such a toxic male. God, shame on me. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I did what I could to give her a platform and you know, push her. I've said nothing nice about her, even up until what she did. I'm not beefing with this chick. I have no problems with this chick. I think, thank you. Like, I was really writing for her, but I think she's going through some mental issues right now, and she needs our support. She needs our prayers. I'm not going to use this platform to like make fun of her. I'm not going to be saying negative stuff about her. whatever she's going through, I hope she gets through it. I know she's going through a Saturn return, so it is this. But yeah, next we have J-Lo. J-Lo, 12th house, Taurus, Sun, Libra, Moon, Gemini, Rising, and Venus. I'll start this off, actually.
I was about to say, that's interesting.
Right. Oh, definitely. So, okay. J-Lo, why am I not surprised? Thank you for the meme, by the way. Hilarious. We got the Empress. This is literally just you, owning your goddess Venusian self. You literally tapping into your own sense of beauty activates this abundance and this magnetism that'll attract everything. And all you have to do is just be the diva you know you are. And I'm picking up that Leo Empress energy, right? Even though, which actually perfect, Taurus, Sun, Libra, Moon. So you got the Venusian rulership, and this is really you with Venus. You got your Gemini rising in Venus. You are the Empress. Venus is literally in your first house. You're ruled by Venus. So it's like really tapping in, right? You're welcome. You literally just got to say you're welcome, y'all. I'm here. Like I'm bringing in, you're literally, your presence alone brings in so much abundance. It's like having to charge show up fee just to show up at the club because you know it's going to be more popular. So, this is definitely you owning the Empress within, and all you have to do is just own it. All you have to do is just know you are the head BIT. No, you are the head queen, and that's it. And boom. But that very awareness is going to activate even more that sense of like abundance and magnetism, which is cool.
That's right. She is the queen bee. All right, so I'm gonna pull a card for you, J-Lo. Let's see. Spirit of the river. So movement toward adventure. So new changes are coming. River energy is constantly flowing, constantly changing. When you think about a river, you think about its connection to the ocean, or what it's striving to go is towards the ocean, right? Coming from the mountains and then all of a sudden cascading down and through, like creeks and stuff like that, and branching out, and then finally making its way home to the ocean. For you, it feels like that is exactly what's happening here with your own life, where you are constantly changing, constantly moving, constantly wandering, constantly coming back home. Ultimately, constantly coming back home. So this is kind of like a revelation of your ascension path, or where you're going, okay? Or what's the ultimate goal here? And the ultimate goal here is the connection to Creator. The ultimate goal here is your fortification and understanding, that knowing that within you, Creator lies, okay? Within you. And then that being said, and understanding that the changes that are coming can be rough sometimes, but it's all good. It's all growth, and it's all evolution. All right. So that's what I have for you, J-Lo.
Yeah, what I've got for you is I've got the King of Coins and the Page of Coins. Let me see. A lion and a panther, or sorry, a tiger and a panther. To me, what this is about is it's about first of all, the King of Coins. This is about recognition. I think you've been maybe more consistent and more disciplined than you might have even thought or given yourself credit for. And I feel like that's about to manifest in such a obviously outward way that there's no way that you'll be able to deny recognizing that anymore. And what it's going to bring to you is not only the success in itself, but also it's going to manifest and attract a lot of pages of coins, basically like sudden messages of new financial opportunities and of new ways to essentially increase the value of your life in general in all of the external ways. So essentially, the King of Coins is just saying, this isn't about, it's just about recognize that you've already sort of stepped into the King of Coins archetype, whether or not you have given yourself the credit that sort of caught up with that or not. And if you let yourself recognize that, not only will it lead you to a place that goes far beyond the plateau that you might feel with your progress, but it will also just start bringing so many different new opportunities to you, because where there is one king, there are always tons of pages. There's not just one page in a kingdom, there's hundreds of them. And so each and every time you recognize the king / the queen in this case, within yourself, the more you're opening yourself up to the universe, creating new multiplicative opportunities for you. That's what I have.
Beautiful. And next,
You're
we
welcome, Cindy.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Work and career reading, please, by Kathy. June 7th. Sorry, 1/7/71. So I'm assuming that's January 7th, unless she's from the UK, then that's July 1st. But no. Now I got this screwed up. 1/7 is January 7th, I think, in American time.
No, they switched it around. Yeah, there's a switch around. Or maybe it's Canada. Is it the UK or is it Canada?
It's actually Europe, so.
Is it Europe?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought Canada did that too.
Well, they are ruled. They are under the thumb of the Queen still. So.
There you go.
So January 7th. All right. So work and career. Let's see. Really great question, by the way. We have the Devil card. So the Devil card coming with strength too. These both are sexual addiction, but this can also be like putting so much, being obsessed with passion in your work. And so the Devil card, I feel, is like, make sure you're not obligating to do more work than you're getting paid what it's worth. And make sure you're not getting paid way less than what your work is worth. You also want to make sure that there are no distractions and addictions getting in the way of what you're doing. But I don't think you're dealing with addictions. This could either be an unhealthy obsession towards success and the work you're doing, but this could also you be overcoming any limitations. I think this might be more worrying or making sure you're getting paid what you're worth, though. And that's, I hope that was I hope that resonated with you.
It's that Capricorn. It's get you all confused, huh?
Oh, and Capricorn. So the Devil card. We got the Capricorn card.
Okay, let's see what we get for you, Kathy. It's Kathy, right? Ooh. All right, so we got from the Pleiades deck, we got Taygeta and the storyteller. She was a storyteller. So this is all about intention and the words that you use in order for you to just create the life that you have around you, right? So when you speak to people, there has to be a direction that you're trying to persuade them. Okay, either persuade them to do something that you want them to do, such as like, hey, go take out the trash. Something as simple as that, or persuade them to really understand where you're coming from. Okay, so you are the narrator here. You are the storyteller. You are the one that narrates your life. Okay, you are the one that dictates whether or not things are going to be tolerated or things are not going to be tolerated when it comes to people around, especially relationships. So when we think about the Devil card, like what Mike said, I think this is definitely where this is going. The intention behind that, when you talk to someone, when you reveal your truth, your feelings, your emotional stages to someone, and they don't reciprocate or they just brush it off as if they're kind of gaslighting you or things like that, then that's when you know your answer right there and then as to where this is going, where this relationship is going, if this is going to be a continuous cycle or if you're going to break it finally, right? And usually, you being a Capricorn, you're going to be like, you're gonna fucking see. You're going to fucking see who I really am. You're going to know me. You mistreat me, you're going to know me, right? So that's exactly what this is, okay? So I hope that makes sense.
And what I got is, first of all, Knight of Swords, which in context to work and career is crystal clear. Basically, it's a card that says don't rush. Don't rush just because it looks like it's possible to do so. Because the Knight of Swords tends to be this young character, whether a man or a woman, usually a young man. and they'll be highly intelligent. And because of that, they've mastered tons of different skills really quickly. And they've probably innovated or outsmarted the way through conventional tactics in battle. However, the Knight of Swords always tends to have a Queen and King of Swords around, who is then advising them, hey, we should actually take this slow. We should take more time to observe something. And the Knight of Swords sometimes rushes in anyways and then gets defeated. And the only reason they got defeated was not because of their intelligence, because, you know, that is what helped them get so far so quickly. But essentially, it's the lack of listening to someone that might seem outdated. They might seem like they're behind the times. So whatever this project is or upcoming push for something is, just essentially take it precisely as slow as it looks like it's supposed to go. Don't try and speed anything up. And if you do that, like, you're good to go. And at the same time, and it kind of goes along with these two cards, the Three of Cups again, and the Three of Wands. Three of Cups and Three of Wands, especially together, is allowing yourself to take part in an imperfect journey. That basically, you're taking the first steps of a journey and you're going to have little failures along the way. And it's going to take longer because of those little failures. Rather than rushing ahead or anything like that, it's just allowing yourself to get started. So essentially, it's very likely that it is a good thing for you to recognize your own intellect and to recognize your own skills and how powerful you are and all that. But it's also important to recognize that there's nothing wrong with failing, when essentially failure is just a step that goes along towards the road of success. It's an ingredient for creating success. And so this is about allowing yourself essentially to sit back and listen to someone else's counsel, even when you pretty clearly feel like you know exactly what's best and that you're really good at, you know, coming up with answers for that. Essentially just really listen and take everything slow. Every opportunity you have to be a runner, instead be a Buddhist monk and just, like, you know, slowly and mindfully observe what's happening around you, and you'll be saved from tragedy. That's the way I see it.
Beautiful. Next, we have Zanartha Cruz. Shout out to House of Judea. Divine Trine weekly reading, divine guidance around career and finance.
Career and finance.
Yep. Let's get it. All right.
Can I get hers first?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay.
I felt your energy like perk
I
up.
was like, get out of the way. Just kidding.
I light up when I mentioned like the House of Judea. So I just thought it was a synchronicity that you asked to do it first. Ari is not joking, by the way. She was like, get out of the way.
The fuck out of
Yeah.
I don't do that, you guys. I know some people do that, but I don't.
Word.
All right, House of Judea. Finances and career. Girl, you know what I'm going to tell you.
Uh-oh.
What are you going to tell her?
So, we got the Hermit, okay? But beyond the Hermit, it's more about, like, really, it's kind of like analyzing what you want to do with your life. You know, it's kind of like, what makes you happy? Where you're at, is it making you happy? Are you upset? Are you just over this environment? It does feel like it's time for you to go hermit mode and to contemplate this and what's going to be your next step towards that. It's like the ability of self-discovery is within you already. The ability to take action is something different, right? So right now it's a time for you to pause and to reflect and to really make a plan of action when you're ready, of course, to take that proper step to going towards something that you desire to go towards, something that you dreamed about, being your own boss, right? Making your way through this world on your own terms and having a vision and actually, you know, and actualizing it, because I feel like your vision, your creativity is stifled in the environment that you're in. I feel like you have way more expressions to take on when you're free to do so. Okay. And so this is something that you probably gotten the urge to already separate yourself from that environment and to project onto a new creation, project onto a new way of making money, a new way of just creating life or your life. Okay. So just take the time to reflect on that and what you want, or how you want it to look. Okay. So that's what I have for you. How's it today?
Hey, Zanata, and I couldn't agree more. I've got Page of Wands and Eight of Wands. So Page of Wands and Eight of Wands. Page of Wands tells us to essentially step into the unknown and to do so proudly. And oftentimes Page of Wands will happen when, for example, we went into an interview. We didn't actually expect to get the position or the promotion. We sort of thought it was, like we should at least try, but it's not likely that it's going to happen. But then it happens. And then all of a sudden, all of this anxiety that we potentially had towards getting it is now redirected into an anxiety about, okay, am I actually going to do a good job at this or not? And basically what the Eight of Wands is suggesting is that you need to aim your sights way, way higher by aiming it into the unknown. And the thing is, when it comes to the unknown, is if you're trying something entirely new or stepping out, just like Ari was saying, to be your own boss in some way or some dimension, then you'll be aiming upwards, but towards, the clouds. You don't know exactly what it is that you're going to hit. But it's about trusting yourself and knowing that you deserve that, knowing that you can aim for more safely and that you'll be rewarded for aiming for more. So that's what I have.
Sweet. So for career, we have the Five of Cups. And for finances, we have the Four of Pentacles. I knew it. I didn't even look at the cards. I felt the need to separate career and finances. So this is beautiful. For career, we have the Five of Cups, and so your finances are on point. In fact, when it comes to your finances, you're assured to make more money. So you're getting that bag. As far as the career, it looks like you have to overcome a disappointment. I think maybe the career direction that you felt you were going to go in, or what I'm picking up intuitively, is you're looking at what it takes, especially as an ascended master who's leading humanity. You know what it takes for your career, but you also know that you're not going to accomplish everything you need to. And what I mean by that is, I think you want to save more people than you can save. And I don't want to put that out that you have a savior complex, but it's like, what work is needed to really heal the people you want to heal. And I feel like the Five of Cups is like, you're feeling not everyone's going to make it. And it's bleeding. It wants everyone to make it. Another analogy I have for this is that maybe you were expecting something to happen in your career that was promised to you. Maybe it was meant to work out a certain way, but it just didn't. It's a legitimate disappointment, but that's not going to affect your finances. If anything, you're going to make even more money. So I really hope that resonates with you. It's very interesting reading. And it looks like that's all the readings. So we're going to close out here if no one else wants one.
I just wanted to say that was super awesome. I think this is really, really great being here. And I think that if possible, that we should aim for doing this weekly.
Y'all want to do this weekly? I'm totally down.
I honestly, I think it'd be fun.
Do you guys want to do this?
Do
you guys want to do this every Monday, Saturday, on the weekend, or
Mondays? Because people need to look forward to
Mondays. Okay.
Yeah, we can make it better for them.
We can make Mondays better for
well, the Divine Trine.
There you have it, y'all. Divine Trine weekly.
4 a.m. Pacific time.
Yes.
First thing in the morning before you can wake up.
4 or 5. Oh, Pacific.
4 a.m. Pacific time?
Yeah, 4 a.m. Pacific time. You just log in first thing in the morning.
If you're asleep, you just magically wake up.
Yeah.
Just
From
ask
4 a.m. to 7 a.m.
You're
The
asleep.
most
Just ask
convenient.
no projecting if you're asleep.
Yeah, exactly. That's part of it.
We're gonna astral project too at 4 a.m. We'll be laying down in our beds and just astral project. Everybody's invited.
This is a reason to not hate Mondays. We gonna be live.
Yeah.
Go. Boom.
Yep.
Oh, and just a collective card for everyone here. 10 of coins.
Woo!
It is time to propagate our successes and create new legacies of new successes for the next generation. That's what it feels like right now.
Propagation.
and I got the Lovers. So you know.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Might get some.
I guess I should pull a card too.
And this could be also for the legacy, combining the legacy with what you love, with what gives you excitement. And we got the Judgment. So your higher purpose is going to be attached to that, the legacy. This could even be unveiling soulmates that are a part of this. So congratulations.
That's funny. I actually got the Judgment because I pulled a card for myself about us doing this live, and I got Judgment. So it was interesting.
You got Judgment? Is it because we're judgy?
Yeah, that's exactly why. It's a judgy Sagittarian
Judgy
energy.
Sagittarius with
And
a
basically the card was saying, watch out for Ari. She's gonna classic Ari again.
I'm such a judgy person.
So
All right,
judgy
pull a card too.
all the time.
Oh, sorry.
Picking Libra's second. Unacceptable.
I got the Ten of Cups.
Oh, there we go.
So,
10 of coins, 10 of cups.
happiness is
Yeah.
with the material wealth and love and trustworthy relationships. Yeah.
That was a great song.
I'm a big fan of fulfillment. That's amazing.
Oh, hey, catch me on my TikTok because I'm gonna start singing some Mexican ranchero music. All right.
I was just about to do that, but since you are, I won't copy you.
I'm gonna be singing my little heart off. No, I'm not. But just catch my TikToks.
Make sure you guys subscribe to Jackson Ari's YouTube below in the description box. We also have, for those of you who want to book services with them, the links so that you can do so at your leisure. Y'all stay blessed as always. And until next week, peace.
See you guys.
Bye.